out there. There are two basic lenses that you can use. Your Nifty 50, probably everyone has a 50 so you can use a 50 if you want to. And for a little advanced user, you have your 90 macro, which is your macro lens. You want to get in really, really tight with the food. You get in really. Suppose you want to really show, it's not so much about the construct of the food as in the silhouette, but it's more about what the ingredients are. So then you get into it really, really tight with a macro and show the ingredients and stuff. The 50 is to show the silhouette. Of course, you can with these cameras these days you can zoom in as much as you want. It's almost like a medium format. You've got like 50 megapixels, so you have no problem. In terms of angles, viewing angles, the shooting angles, the two best ones are top for something that's on a plate, which is kind of flat. And it works well for Indian food. Remember that flat stuff works better for Indian food because it's very difficult to shoot it. It has no height. Anything with height, you can shoot at a 45-degree angle. It looks much nicer. Now, in terms of placement, remember that wherever your light source is, your natural light source is, place it at a 90-degree angle or let the source of light be behind the subject, behind of whatever you're shooting. If you place it right in the front of it, it looks flat and it looks completely boring. There's no shadow, there's no texture. You don't see the separation of the background from the food. So it's just boring. It's not professional at all. And that's the differentiation between shooting like something that just looks flat and very you can like put a white card, like for example, you just fill up if you want to fill up the shadows, you fill a white bounce card, and you can fill up extra shadows if it's too dark for you. But otherwise, on a for example, if you're going somewhere and you're shooting something on your phone, you can do it. And on the phone, I would recommend if you're shooting it on a portrait mode, because you can shoot it wide open just like on your camera. I mean, on the macro, I have it at 2.8 if you guys or for all you professionals out there, and on my 50 I have it at 1.4. So if you shoot it at that, it looks kind of dreamy. It adds a little nuance of like that etherealness to the subject. It kind of fades away the background. Sometimes there are imperfections in the food. You don't want it to be too sharp. You don't want it to be like absolutely in your face, very, very hard and like harsh. You want the food to look appetizing. Of course, there are times when there's a lot of sauce and there's juice on it and you want that to show, but then you have to add another light. But that comes into, of course, your lighting with artificial light. So that's a different subject altogether.
Yes.
So these are your 3-4 basic things that you can do, and for your top angle is very easy on your phone. You just have to hold it over the subject. It's very easy. And for this thing, you can just hold it this way and like go to a 45 degrees, like basically how you look at it on the table, down. Yeah, from your eye point. So that's the most pleasing angle. And of course, with your phone, you can play with it and figure out what's the best. And the phone has a macro mode these days, so you can pretty much do anything you want on your phone itself.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me the Baroque or the portrait mode. Is it the same?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get you.
No,
that. Bokeh is basically the round ball. Bokeh is these round balls that occur in the background when the blur happens. That's on the phone it's created artificially by the software, and on the camera it's created by the lens. So it's how many elements the lens has. So if it has 10 elements, you get completely round bokeh. Some bokeh balls they're called anyway. So so any light coming there, they'll form these dreamy kind of round objects in the background. Or if you go like at 1.4 when I shoot I'll show you some pictures I've shot at 1.4. It goes completely buttery blurry. So it looks very, very nice and smooth.
Okay. When you're actually at a restaurant, Vivaan, and if I've got my handphone and I'm actually taking photos from it, very often when you go out, I'm not talking about times like this, but otherwise, wherever you go out or you're at a family get together, it's often very dark, at the table or wherever you're sitting. Is it advisable to put on your phone flash, or do you need a secondary source of light to actually take a decent photo? I'm not saying a great photo.
Okay, now in this, there's a cheat you can do in this. If you have company, suppose you have a friend, you can ask the friend to switch on his phone light and give backlight your subject for you. And you can take a picture. In case you're in a really dark restaurant and you have no options, then obviously you have to switch on your flash. But obviously that's not going to be the most flattering image. It's going to look
No.
kind of, it's just going to be captured for the camera. It's not going to be like your most flattering image.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can. And of course, there are times in restaurants when, there's mixed lighting. There's yellow, there's orange, there's like, so that time, that time of flash really helps. It overpowers all the lights around you and it kind of gets you the subject. But I would advise then going top with that.
Okay.
Completely top, because you get a flatter image, and it'll kind of look a little better. At the same time, if you want to be a little more professional, you can actually, ask your friends to switch on a couple of lights and like play with them and on their phones, and then you can add some, and just add, there's a menu card and just fill up the whites from the side and stuff.
Yeah.
Fill up the shadows. You can do all that. It's fun. And I urge you guys to explore and have fun. Go to, whenever this lockdown ends, go to a restaurant or try this at home. In fact, so get into like a candlelight situation if it's you and your friends or you and your wife, spouse or girlfriend or whatever. And try it out and have fun with it. Sometimes a lot of people are cooking at home, so capture your creation.
Coming to that,
Yeah, they're cooking at home, so they want to, and they're missing their restaurants, they're missing their Instagram. Their Instagram's empty right now. They're not getting anything to post, so they're posting the stuff that they made at home. So, be adventurous with that, have fun with that, and, create some nice images. I told you the simplest way to do it is to have a window, just go near a window. That's the easiest. You don't have to worry about anything. It gives you a nice flattering light. If you have a sheer curtain, that'll add a nice, soft, even softer light. Even butter paper works really, really well, surprisingly. You don't need much, but you can get a nice flattering image.
Okay, what about props, Vivan? Very often in a frame, you have the main subject, and for food styling, you put a lot of either fork or a napkin or props around the photo. How important is that, and what is your view on that?
It depends on what the restaurant needs. I mean, sometimes I'll tell you, sometimes you see all these prop photographs. The pictures with a lot of props are pictures of bread or coffee.
Yes.
Or something really boring like that.
I'm thinking.
If you visualize it.
Yeah.
Because as a photographer, I'm like, oh God, this is just a cup of coffee. What the hell do I do with it? So I'm like, stylist. Sprinkle some breadcrumbs, and I want some biscuit on the side, and I want like a fancy, milk jar, and because I want to make it look like that extraordinary cup of coffee or that amazing, omelette. I mean, like if it's just an omelette, you want it to look like the best omelette in the world. So that's when you add the props, when the actual food is a little boring, or you just want a splash of color. Maybe sometimes it's a little dark. Like there's a aspect of photography called dark food photography also, where you kind of shoot very moody images. Now, I like that. In fact, in the Vogue stuff that we did also for Thainam, we did very moody images because his restaurant is very dark. That's what he wanted. That's what his visualization was. So I added splashes of color in his runners.
Okay.
So those are his table runners were kind of splashes of color and stuff like that. And I added I made him break, rice with some chilies and like some interesting colors and stuff like that. Like some, there's some berries or there's some fruit or there's some props like that. So those are the things that you can, those are times that props come really handy when the actual subject is a little boring. Otherwise, just a normal apple pie will look really, really good if you shoot it there. Yeah.
Also, when you look at photographs, food photography, I'm talking specifically to that. There are some photos which are close up to the food.
Yeah.
And then there are some photos which are distant, which show of apple pie a little far away with the blurred background. What works in what situation, or do you just experiment?
Depends on the situation. See, now, as I said, suppose I go close up to a lot of Indian food because I want to show the ingredients. There's a cake with there's a slice cut, and there are different layers in the cake that you need to show. Then you go in really well. If you want to show the texture, the ingredients, that's when you go in really, really close. If you want to show the silhouette, which is the frame of how it's made or whatever, you kind of stay wide, and you show the entire thing, and then you design the frame accordingly.
So that is now. If someone did ask if I have no natural light at home, what do I?
You live in a basement?
Huh?
He lives in a basement. Okay, watch out! I really feel bad for you. But no.
I don't get any natural light at home. What can I use in this case?
How sad. I really feel. Okay, you can use anything. You can use an LED torch. You can use a table lamp. You can use any source of light. Technically, for food, white light is a little better, cleaner. But if you want to shoot it a little moody, a little yellow is fine. Your phone will kind of auto-correct it and stuff. If you're using a camera, obviously you'll have to change the white balance. But you can use anything. You just if your light is too harsh from the torch, add a cloth in front of it, add a butter paper, diffuse the light, bounce it off the ceiling somewhere.
Yeah.
Get some light on it, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine.
So I hope you understood that. Okay.
Yeah, I hope they got it.
You get the light. Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
Maybe I know, maybe I don't. But you get the light boxes that you take for shooting, the white boxes. How important are they in professional food photography? Because I know on Amazon and a lot of other places they are available and people buy.
Yeah, actually, you nailed it on the head. They use for Amazon. I mean, like their product specific dabbas. I mean, they're called tabletop. It's tabletop photography. That is. So it's got lights inbuilt or whatever. You can add light. You diffuse. It's basically a giant diffuser from all sides, and you have one hole where you can. It's used mainly for jewelry. Actually, when I shoot jewelry and stuff like that. But if you want to show with food, I don't think unless you want to shoot that McDonald's burger image, which is like against white, and then it has to be cut out and placed on a menu by the client somewhere, then it's handy because everything has to be white around it. Everything the background has to be white. Everything has to be very clean. It's a front lit image. It's lit from all sides.
Yeah.
It's basically very bright. So that's the kind of if you want to add mood and stuff, that the box is not going to work for you.
Okay. Vivan, another question about phone. What? Any clue? I know the new iPhones are very good for photography. What other phones and other budgets one can look at?
I think anything with now a 10,000 rupee phone to a 1 lakh rupee phone has a great camera. I mean, they're better cameras than your basic DSLRs. You just have remember, you just need decent light. If you have decent light, your phone camera will do miracles. If it has a portrait mode, where you can add some bokeh and some blur, it'll look even better. If it doesn't, you can do that artificially through an app. The app, like my phone, I have a Samsung. It has its own food section in the photography thing. I don't use it. I put it on manual. But if you don't want to use it on manual, you can even use something like that. It's so easy nowadays,
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the best phone and stuff like that, or the best. You don't have to have the most expensive. I think even a Chinese phone with a 10,000 rupee, because they all have these Sony sensors now with the IMX 68 or something, I don't know, which is like a 48 megapixel something or the other. It's the only difference will be is the quality of the image is not going to be as good as maybe the latest iPhone. The kind of bokeh that they put out or the blur that they put out is not going to be as great as that. But it's going to get you close, and you've got apps which can color correct, and you've got Lightroom on your phone nowadays, and most bloggers don't have so much money. I mean, they can't afford a 1 lakh rupee iPhone. They probably get away with like a OnePlus, or I mean that's probably the most expensive phone that they'll buy.
Yeah.
And it has a great camera. You don't need a really fancy phone. That's what I'm saying. All you need to understand is these basic principles, and then your photography goes to the next level.
Yeah. Apps, as you spoke about, that was my next question for editing. What are the good apps one can download on Android or iOS?
I use Lightroom.
Which we can use.
So Sam, I basically use Lightroom. I'm an Adobe guy, so I use Lightroom and I use Photoshop. On your phone, you have your own Galaxy editor, which kind of does everything for you as well. So you don't have to worry about that. That's also not an issue. So you have all these options, so you don't really have to worry so much.
Okay. Shilpa asks, Vivan, with so much digital clutter, do you recommend one sticks to a photography style to look distinct or to stand out in the clutter?
Shilpa, unfortunately, the clutter is going to be there no matter what you do. The thing is, how do you as you rightly said, how do you stand out? Standing out is, something is when people try too hard. Just make sure your photography is good and stay consistent and develop your own style, like your signature trademark for it, and develop your own mood and understand what the client wants. See, with photography, what's happened is that nowadays the client doesn't care if they're shooting with a Prasad Naik or a Dabu Ratnani or they're shooting with a me or they're shooting with anybody. They are only concerned with the outcome. They are only concerned with this image will sell my product or not.
Yes.
And they want the best bang for buck, because nowadays they can't afford, to spend big budgets on it. And sometimes like the budgets are ridiculous. Like I've had people from big chain hotels tell me that, can you do our food for like 5,000 rupees? And I was like, what? It costs more to my assistant costs more than that. But so that's how bad it is become, because people are, and they're like, we don't care, shoot it on the phone, this, that, and all that stuff. So it's some of these people don't even care. They don't know the difference they don't know the difference, and that's the sad part, And I advise all you budding photographers out there, don't do it for free. Don't do it for cheap, and don't, just, I'm starting now. And then remember, if you're starting now, you'll be stuck there only. You're not going to grow up from there. You're never going to be able to raise your budget after that with that client, at least, because they're going to know that I paid you 5 grand last time, so I'm never going to pay you 50 grand the next time. It's not going to happen. So suddenly you're going to say that now I've raised my budget. They'll be like, sorry, I'll get somebody else. The next you for 5 grand. So that's the problem with it. And like I've had a jewelry guy, a really big jewelry guy, come and tell me like, up in the middle of the shoot, he's like showing his phone. Aap aise le lo, phone pe le lo, chalega mere ko. And like, he doesn't know. They don't know excuse my language, their elbow from their backside about photography, and they'll just come in and tell you what to do. And it's unfortunate. And that's why, as a profession, it's very, very difficult, because you have to deal with people who've are watching Pinterest all day, and they just think that it's so easy. And like, it's like looking at a foreign film and saying, isko copy karo. That's how, mujhe ye chahiye, this image, I want this. But is your product the same? Are you going to give me the same prop? Do you have the same budget for the same equipment? It's a whole different thing. So they don't understand that. So those are certain things that need to be worked on in India. At least I feel respect for technicians and stuff is kind of doesn't exist. Which, like even as professional, luckily, I think you guys, as for food bloggers and stuff, it's gone up in by leaps and bounds, and I'm so happy because that's happened. At least they invite you for all these things. They make sure that you guys get whatever you guys require and stuff like that. With us, it's very, very difficult. They like, and I've had many times in the middle of the client, they're like, put it here on the camera, take it from this angle. You're just like, okay. And the sad part is you can't say like, go stuff it. You'll have to be like, okay, I'll take my camera there, take a picture, show it to them. They're like, yeah, you're right, it's not working, let's change it. Okay, go back to whatever you want to do. So that's the mindset. That's what you got to do. It's just as good as that or as bad as that.
It's damn tough. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people, are home chefs or home bakers who do not shoot for a client but shoot for their own product. Because they want to sell their either or
on their website or whatever.
Yeah. So so client doesn't come into play there, but then they want to do the best they can with what they have themselves. And I think your tips will really help them actually up their game.
Yeah, they can make their own setup. Like in case you have a kitchen factory at home, which is churning out stuff every day, and you're doing stuff, build a dedicated setup. If you want, you can afford a DSLR. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure you can, because it's very, very cheap now. A decent lens will not cost you much. Like a decent 50 is like, if I'm not, it's less than 10,000 rupees if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but yeah. But that's how cheap it is at a 1.8, which is a great camera lens body to have. As in, like, you can get a relatively cheap Canon camera, 70D or 80D or 90D. I don't know what's going on now. I use Sony, so I'm not really sure, but and pretty cheap. And even the Canons even the Sonys are very cheap. You can get a vlogging camera, like an RX4 Mark IV or something for like relatively cheap, and get away with it. And even if you want to use your phone, just buy a tripod. Like a tripod will get you make the difference, a huge difference in your photography completely. Remember, food photography, you have to have a tripod, unless your phone just like got steady shot. And remember, if your phone has steady shot, please use it, because when you zoom in, you're going to see that micro shake that happens and your food is going to be blurred. So that's a good tip to have. Just there's a hand icon which is like this. Just click on it and it'll give you that steady shot. So that is important. Even if you're doing some sort of video or something, use steady shot. It is on most phones these days. So you can build a dedicated setup, add two table lights there, LED lights. Because like I actually bought a light for $500 off Amazon, which is like 200 watts of LED light.
Wow.
I can light an entire room with that for $500. I'm not even joking. Go check it out. You can just hold it in your hand and just light up anything. And you can use it, and you can just put like butter paper over it and keep it there. Every time you make something new dish, put it there, shoot it, upload it to your website. Oh yeah. So it's easy that way.
So how does the tripod help? Can you just expand on that?
Yeah. So with food photography, what happens is sometimes you're shooting in low light, as you said. You need to get the, if you shoot on manual, you'll understand you have to get the shutter speed down quite a bit. You're shooting sometimes at really slow shutter speed. So you're going to shoot at that timer mode. So you're going to click it, going to wait, the camera's going to go cut, and then it's going to wait, and then it's process, that many seconds, then it's going to open the shutter again. So that's, if you don't have a tripod, by the time your hand is like shaking all this time this much, so your image is going to be blurred. So if this is a good tip to have in a restaurant, if you can, like one of those mini Gorilla pods, you can literally take with you. You can put it on the table, put your camera there, go to manual, open up the thing. You can shoot in pitch black also if you want, if you know how to shoot in manual. Just open up the shutter speed, slow it down, and you can shoot and bump up your ISO as much as you can, let it be on auto or whatever, and you can get away with a great image. So it will stabilize your shots. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it will stabilize your shots. There won't be any blur. You'll get the sharpest image possible from what equipment you have.
So that's why you're supposed to use those Gorilla, those round 3 tripod small things.
Yeah, it's literally this big. Just like this big, you can carry it with you if you're going to an important like place, or it's going to this is going to feature on your Instagram, or you want this to this thing. You can do that. You can just take it with you and stuff.
Okay, I've got a phone here, and sorry, I'm talking a lot about phones, Vivan. All of us use. But I've got a phone here, and there is a mode in the camera which says professional.
That's the manual mode. That's the manual mode. Yeah.
Manual mode.
So so you slow down the shutter speed there. If you see shutter.
So what is EV?
Sorry?
There's something called EV.
So I won't get into that's the exposure value, but let's not go into the details there. Just because I don't want to confuse the audience.
So how do you
let's just stick to shutter speed.
Is the ISO shutter speed?
See, I don't know which phone you have. So the ISO is not shutter speed. ISO is how fast your chip, which is your sensor, how fast it reacts to the light and stuff like that. So if you're, say, at 100, it'll be the slowest. If you go faster and faster and faster, it'll react faster, but it'll keep bumping up your exposure, but your images will suffer from noise. So it'll get like granules and stuff like that. So you need to shoot at the lowest ISO possible for the cleanest image possible. So lowest ISO, slowest shutter speed. So when you slow down your shutter speed, your camera will shake. So because it won't be like, it won't click like that. You go and then wait, and then again. So that's the shutter speed. With the aperture, most of your stuff will be at like, I think most cameras will be 2.2 or 2.4 with the modern lenses that we have. And the iPhones and all are 1.9. So you can get it as low as possible to get the maximum amount of light in. So Sameer, the basic concept is to let as much light in as possible. So you slow down the shutter speed. So this is the shutter is basically this metal thing that shuts and opens. And your aperture is it's like aperture is basically you just open the lens up as much as you can. Okay, and these two things, if you understand, you're sorted. ISO and all that stuff, if you go into like ISO, basically the thing is, the bigger the value, the more light you're letting in, the faster your sensor is and stuff, but more grain, more damage to the image that you're suffering.
Okay. So that's a little professional. Okay. Someone said how to shoot chocolates. Chocolates sweat very fast. How to avoid that? Or is there
You'll have ice cream, chocolates, everything melt. Like today, the reason I had this fancy setup by the window and stuff with sunlight, and I was going to show you a little, this thing, and I myself melted. Forget about for the tart and everything was gone by the time I was saying, and it was so hot. So basically, I had to shift it to this thing. And what happens is, even on location, by the time the food's ready, sometimes the food is settled down or something like that. You have to use props. Like with ice cream, we use. What do you call it, mashed potatoes, and with food coloring to show ice cream and stuff. We do a lot of cheats. We bump up the food, we kind of put toothpicks, and we kind of, but that all you don't need to know. If you're shooting at home, chocolates, the best thing to do is put them in the deep freezer for as long as you can, freeze them, and just before the shoot, you remove them and then put them back in.
Put the pack in.
That's as good as you want to get in Bombay, because everything melts in Bombay, especially in May.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah. Vivan, you were born in Amritsar or Bombay? Because I
don't know why that is. I think Wikipedia is losing it, because every time they get somebody new, the first time they said I was born in Chicago, I was like, okay, I won't dispute that. I'll leave it at that. Chicago, the US sounds, but I was like, I think after Trump, they decided that he's born in Amritsar. It's better. I think I grew my hair and the thing. I said, "Ye Sardar hai, isko Amritsar bana." He's born in Amritsar. Jordan. I was born in Bombay, born and brought up in Bombay. I haven't gone anywhere. Okay, so I've been here all my life.
Okay, great. Photography I'm just asking some random questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Photography as a career for someone, is it worth getting into currently for newbies?
The thing is, with everything, it's kind of saturated unless you have a specific style and a specific eye for it. But you also have to put in, like with anything, you have to put in the time. You have to put in like a good 10 years to really understand and become solid at your foundation has to be really good.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to, I've shot at really strange, circumstances with very little time. Like big actors coming in, you have very little time to shoot them and stuff like that, and you have to be on the set, and you have to get out of there because somebody has to shoot a commercial after you. You're shooting on a reality set, or you're shooting on an ad while the ad is is going on. So you've got like 15 minutes to shoot with the person. The talent doesn't want to shoot with you because they want to sit down and they want to have their chai and they want to chill before the next shot. But you have to drag them to the location. You have to be polite. You have to make them understand. It's all about also relating to them and making them understand. And luckily one thing for me which came into was a strength of mine, is because I've been behind the camera and in front of it. I'm able to direct well.
Yeah.
So I'm able to make it do it fast, and luckily for me, I know exactly what I want, so I know I can achieve something very fast. And sometimes I get into trouble for finishing too fast, because I've actually got into trouble with clients saying that, "Are you finished in half the day? We are today for a full day." I'm like, "But kaam khatam ho gaya, main kya karu? I just adjust." So there are times when I've had discussions with these big guys, and I've assisted some big guys, and they're on the set, and I'm like, "But the shot is done. What are we doing?" And they're like, "No, the client has paid for the full day, so we have to keep adjusting lights and show that some work is going on." And I remember I was the model for major hair commercial. I won't say the name and all, but they called on this French photographer for 30 lakhs. They paid him for a day, and he had switched on every light in the venue, everything. We were shooting in Mehboob Studio, and he had switched on every light. I mean, there were 30 lights, and he switched on, and there was no place there wasn't a light. I mean, it was I was there has to be one under my butt also now. I mean, there's the only place left where there's no light, and then you realize that you can, none of those lights are actually firing. There's only one light in the front which is actually firing. They're just on to show the client ki itna sara humne saman book kiya hai. See how this is where your money is going and stuff like that. So yeah, so that a lot of that happens and stuff like that. But these are some of the hazards of the profession. I'm just telling you, it's very funny, this profession. It's a strange journey. But if you want to take the ride, I mean, you're most welcome to. Unfortunately, the pay is not great. I'll warn you straight up. Most of it is done gratis. You're going to be called up by your friends and, "Can you do this for free? Arey, I'm doing this. Arey, mere ghar ka hai. Arey, please ye kar le." So it's just if you really, really love it, then do it. If you're going to do it for money, don't even bother. Seriously, don't bother.
Okay.
And unless you really have this eye, but I don't think you have that, that eye or that thing unless you have the passion for it. You have that drive to live and breathe and eat photography. I used to do so much research. I knew every light that was coming out. I knew every piece of equipment that was coming out. I knew everything, and I knew how to do every technical thing that was being done. I knew it. I could do wonders with even artificial light, which people struggle with, most of the time. But the point is, unless you have that passion, don't bother. It's really not worth it for you, because like anything in life, unless you're doing it with 100% or 105% or 110% or 20%, it's just gonna give you that same reward. It's gonna give you that 50% reward, it's gonna give you 10% reward, it's gonna give you a 5% reward. So and this one sometimes doesn't give you any rewards. It's just like you're doing it. So you just get you so many times I'll be shouted at because they're like, why are you doing it for so cheap? I'm like, but they don't have a budget. They're like, so don't do it. I'm like, I know, but it's a friend that he's requested. Arey, poor guy. It's always something or the other. So it's just like, and sometimes, and you just have to say, I'm not doing this for the money. But I must tell you, Sam, there are certain clients who are really wonderful. They pay you really well. So slowly and steadily you get there. You build up your reputation, you build up your name, and you do end up getting the benefits of it. But that comes at a much later stage, and unless you're up there with the best, and you're only as good as your team. So even if for you budding photographers, I must say, if you're into fashion, get those core people in who know fashion. If you're into fashion, know fashion in and out. You have to know everything. If you're into beauty like I am, I shoot a lot of beauty. You have to know makeup. You have to know colors. You have to know what works with what. If you're into food, you have to be a freaking foodie, because you have to understand what that food is, how to shoot it, what do I like about the muffin, what do I like about that biryani, what do I like about that thing, what am I trying to show, what is the client's requirement, what is he trying to say in this image. So all those things you have to understand. So once you have an understanding of this, once you have a drive to do this, there are a lot of people who shoot architecture. I find it very boring. It's excruciating, but it's very easy. So they do it for the money. But there are people who just find, I love these lines and just see this stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep. It's just so boring. But there are it's big money. I mean, there's so much, construction and real estate to be shot and stuff like that. They do it. I mean, they just get it done. And now, of course, videos have taken over. Every photographer is a videographer on the side. So you have to know your video as well. So I'm just warning you, be forewarned. You have to be good at video as well. So start practicing on your phone.
Okay, Sumit, we've got 10 minutes left because Instagram automatically cuts the Insta live after an hour.
Okay.
So we started at 5, it's 10 to 6. So there are a couple of questions I want to ask you
quickly. Sure.
First is, I want to address this. Sumitra asks, how can you capture smoke from a cup of hot tea or soup from the phone? Smoke emitting.
You want smoke? If you're talking about smoke, you have to sometimes use artificial smoke, but the real smoke is not going to show. We had this problem at Thainam where the soup, we just wanted that little bit of that whiff of the thing and it wouldn't register. Remember, if you want anything to register in the foreground, which is if it's saying, it has to be backlit. So you have to backlight that smoke. So remember that trick. It's going to come really, really handy. Next question.
Okay. Next question one second, there was a question here. What are your thoughts on mirrorless cameras?
I'm using a mirrorless camera. It's actually I feel it's the future. Canon's come up with a mirrorless, the RF thing. RF something or the other. It's very good. Apparently, got touchscreen, which is even better than Sony. Sony is releasing a new camera soon. That's what I've been hearing for a while now. I'm still on my A7R3. I'm very happy with it. They've come up with an A7R4. I haven't found the need to upgrade. In fact, I was very happy with the A9 that they had, which was less megapixels, but it took up less space on my hard drive. And all you're going to remember one thing, if you're chasing megapixels. I sold my A9 and I bought the A7R3 because I wanted the megapixels. Actually, I didn't do that. I sold it because I wanted the faster, the shutter, faster frames per second. It has more frames per second with shooting with strobes. So that's one feature that I really wanted from that. But you don't need giant files. You don't need medium format size files. It's just going to fill up your hard drive. You're going to suffer. You're going to just be like buying new 4 TB drives or 6 TB drives all the time. It's going to fill up space. You have to keep deleting. It's a headache. So when you're giving your clients, most people are using it for the web. So you're giving them JPEGs for God's sake. So you don't need such gigantic raw files. So you don't have to worry about that. Use a 24 megapixel camera. That's enough.
Yeah. Okay. If I'm a home baker or a home chef and I'm cooking at home and selling it and doing my own shots, what are the basic things I require for a setup at home?
A tripod and a source of light. Maybe a white background if you want it very clean or for a website, or it depends on what you're making. If it's a baker, like I hope it's not you, Rachel. I think it's you because you're the home baker. I know it. Anyway, so a white box, a white background, that works fine. Even if you shoot it on your, if you have a textured surface and you shoot it there, you can buy textured paper. It's as cheap as that from your local craft store and shoot it on that. So you just need maybe one light or two lights. If you don't have a natural source of light, a table, maybe a tripod. If you can afford a basic DSLR, if you can't, your phone is fine.
Okay. So the other question was, should I invest in a DSLR?
It depends on how much money you're generating from your business. If you feel you're generating a lot of money and it makes sense, yeah, why not? I mean, like a basic DSLR costs nothing these days. The DSLR lens combo costs nothing. You just connect it to your laptop and create a setup there. Just keep shooting and keep uploading.
Okay, super. These were the questions. I wanted to see if you have any photos we can see that you've shot. Do you have any? Let me.
I just did some with the food that I was saying. I don't know if you can see it. 1 minute. Let me just check.
You have to put it where your face is. Okay.
Yeah, so that's just something that I just shot with the apple tart. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Okay, yes, yeah. So it's the textured background and it's just close up of the whatever
apple pie. Yeah,
the apple pie.
Strudel. Yeah. So this is something that I just did. So here, this is the tart.
Okay, so that tart has the. Okay, yes. So that's the white and red, the jam and this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has some jam filling and stuff.
Shadows are important in the photography. I mean, good to have.
Yeah. So it's the shadows actually add character to it and a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
If you see this, it's just that this is just one window and on table. That's it. That's all I've done.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it just adds a lot of mood. Now see how much texture you can see of the strudel. Otherwise you can't see it. You just miss out on it. So that is some of the stuff that I shot. Yeah. So that it's as simple as that, and you can do something like that. You have some dead space to put your writing there, put your Instagram stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Crop it into a square.
Yeah. How important is food photography for Instagram? I mean, nowadays everyone is on Insta, and you love a profile with great pictures. So if I'm into food or a restaurant or a hotel chain or a home cook or whatever, is it? It's crucial.
Sam,
the Instagram with all food photos.
Sam, I'd say it's crucial. All photography is crucial now, especially with Zomato and all the delivery. Everyone's buying visually. Everyone's buying by looking at it. I mean, I look at an image, it looks appealing. I'm like, okay, I want to try this.
Yeah.
I don't look at the price. I mean, then I just buy it. So everything is digital now. Everything is social media. Everything is Instagram. So everything is for social. Everything is for digital. It is vital. So. As I said, it won't pay you as much because you're shooting for Instagram. Everyone says, "Arey, to social media ke liye hai, kitna budget nahi hai," and all that stuff. But otherwise, it's actually the most important thing. And I wish some of the clients would understand this, that it is extremely, extremely important. It is the most important thing I feel because when you're looking at a restaurant, your first thing you look at is maybe is the restaurant comfortable? Does it have all the things that I want? What kind of food does it have? Oh, it has images of food. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks really good. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah. So I mean, and forget about that. Even in lockdown, you're ordering just by looking at it.
Yeah, true. Agreed.
So
Yeah.
how? I mean, you guys gauge how important it is. It's as simple as that.
Okay, we've got 4 minutes left. Some questions.
Yes. 4 questions.
What is your favorite cuisine?
Thai food. I would say Thai food, Oriental food, yeah, something like that. We love Oriental food. So every time we have a cheat meal, it's generally a Chinese meal or something Oriental or Thai food or something like that.
Okay. Have you been cooking at home during the lockdown?
Yeah, we've been making like really. I burned some bhendi the other day, trying to make fried crispy bhendi. Yeah, but so you cook the easy stuff. You kind of make like cottage cheese, and you make some veggies and stuff like dal rice and stuff like that you want to make.
Yeah.
But we've been using it as an excuse to just like kind of order out and stuff because we cook for the baby as it is.
Yeah.
So if you're cooking for the baby, you really don't want to cook again for yourself. Sometimes, so we just make some stuff which is like the the easy to do, and then at the end of the day, you don't want to wash so many vessels. So that's I think the key phrase is that. मेरे को इतने बर्तन नहीं धोने, I'm not going to cook so much. So I'll order out. I'll eat in the damn bowl. I don't care. I'll just like eat from the packet. Yeah. So that's the lockdown life. But in general, if you have help and stuff, then you kind of cook and make a mess, and then you can do because your cooking does make a mess.
Yeah. One last question. The 3 minutes there. I don't want it to get abruptly cut.
Yeah. Sure.
How do you make your food portfolio?
Keep shooting, as simple as that.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, our portfolio is all about a collection of images. Keep shooting, go to restaurants, order something, shoot there. They're not going to stop you. Pull out your DSLR, shoot to the natural light that they have. Of course, you can't. Once you start putting out lights and all, then they might have an issue. But most people are. If you tell them that you're blogging or you're something like that, they be happy to help you. They probably give you additional stuff to help you, and they'll be like, okay, do you want this? You can ask them like, can you reheat this? I want this steaming or stuff like that. It really works. Like today, I ordered some pies and stuff. I told them, I said, don't damage it. I want to shoot it. They're like, yes, sir, don't worry, we'll take care of it and we'll send you stuff. Because every time it comes, if you order a cupcake, it's like this. It's like 3 cupcakes in one. So it's like trying to like separate it. I was like, what did I order, by the way?
Yeah.
So that's more what happens. So don't worry. You can just keep shooting and build your portfolio. The best way to grow in this field is just keep shooting.
Yeah. Okay, last question. If you weren't an actor and a professional photographer, what would you be?
I think I would be a travel something or the other. I mean, like I just love traveling. So that's one of my other passions is traveling or something to do with cars. Something like something to do with mechanical engineering or figuring out racing car. I would be a race car driver. Yes, that's if we're like. क्यों नहीं रेस car driver चलो
I know. Of course. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Vivan. There's so much to talk, but we must do this another time. It's great.
And hopefully next time I can probably show you some stuff on how I actually capture with artificial light and stuff like that.
Amazing. And it's great learning this side of you because we wanted to stick only on this and not get into films and this and that. That's anyway all there. But thank you for your time. And we must do this again within a week or two and take it to a little more advanced level where you can show us a certain number. Yeah, sure. We can do something for the people who are doing their home bakeries and stuff like that. We can probably show them how to do a home setup. It'll be fun to do that. I can do something like that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Thanks. See you. Thanks, guys.